नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो। आई एम जेवीएन डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंसेज, ज्योति विद्यापीठ विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी जयपुर. Today we will discuss on examination of respiratory system manual part 4. Examination of the chest, looking inspection of the chest. Appearance of the chest. First, look for any obvious scar from the previous surgery. Thoracotomy, scar from lobectomy or pneumectomy. Removal of the whole lung are usually visible running from below the scapula posteriorly, weeping round the axilla to the anterior chest wall. Pleural, pleural procedures such as intercostal drain insertion, biopsy, or VATS like video assisted thoracoscopic surgery may be associated with small scars, often in the axilla or posteriorly. A small scar above the sternal notch indicate a previous tracheostomy. Older patient may have small scar in the midline below the clavicle, indicative of a phrenic nerve crush. A previous treatment for TB. Look for any lung visible beneath the skin or any lesion on the skin itself. If you are examining from the right to the patient, ensure that you thoroughly inspect the left side. It is easy to miss a lateral thoracotomy scar on one or one that is hidden in a skin fold. Next, inspect the shape of the chest itself. The normal chest is bilaterally symmetrical and elliptical in horizontal cross section, with the narrower diameter being anteroposterior. The chest may be distorted by disease of the rib or spinal vertebrae, as well as by underlying lung disease. Feature to note assessing the shape of the chest: kyphosis, scoliosis, flattening, overinflation, previous surgery causing asymmetry such as thoracoplasty. Kyphosis is forward bending or scoliosis is lateral bending of the vertebra column. Will lead to asymmetry of the chest. If severe, may significantly restrict lung movement. Severe airways obstruction, particularly long term as in COPD, may lead to overinflated lungs. On examination, the chest may be barrel shaped, most easily appreciated as in increased anteroposterior diameter, making the horizontal cross section more circular on X-ray. The hemi-diaphragm appears lower than usual or flattened. Movement of the chest. Look to see if the chest movements are symmetrical. If they seem to be diminished on one side, that is likely to be the side on which there is an abnormality, intercostal recession. A drawing in of the intercostal spaces with inspiration may indicate severe respiratory airways obstruction as in laryngeal disease or tumor of the trachea. In COPD, the lower rib often move paradoxically inward on inspiration instead of the normal outward movement. Feeling palpation of the chest. Lymph node. The lymph node in the supraclavicular foci, cervical regions, and axillary region should be palpated. Don't forget to feel gently behind the sternocleidomastoid muscle. If they are enlarged, this may be secondary to the spread of malignant disease from the chest, and such finding will influence decision regarding treatment. Lymph node in the neck are best felt by sitting the patient up and examining from behind. Swelling and tenderness. It is useful to palpate any part of the chest that present an obvious swelling or where the patient complains of pain. Point to note on palpation of the chest, swelling, surgical emphysema, pain and tenderness, tracheal position, cardiac impulses, asymmetry, tactile vocal phlegmitis. Feel gently as pressure may increase the pain. It is often important, particularly in the case of musculoskeletal pain, to identify a site of tenderness. Causes of pain and tenderness in the chest: a recent injury of the chest wall or inflammatory condition. Intercostal muscular pain, as a rule, localized painful spot can be discovered on pressure. A painful costochondral junction, secondary malignant deposits in the rib, herpes zoster before the appearance of the rash. Surgical emphysema, air in the tissue which feels like popcorn or bubble paper underneath the skin, is caused by trauma, pneumothorax, pneumomediastinum, and infection, as well as chest instrument following surgery or a chest drain. Trachea and heart. The position of the cardiac impulse and trachea should then be determined. Feel for the trachea by putting the second and fourth finger of the examining hand on each edge of the sternal notch, and use the third finger to assess whether the trachea is central or deviated to one side. Warn the patient in advance what you are about to do and avoid heavy handedness in the situation. Rough technique is uncomfortable for the patient who may feel like he is being chopped. A slight deviation of the trachea to the right may be found in healthy people. Displacement of the cardiac impulse without displacement of the trachea may be due to scoliosis, to a congenital funnel depression of the sternum, or to enlargement of the left ventricle. In the absence of these conditions, a significant displacement of the cardiac impulse or trachea, or the both together, suggests that the position of the mediastinum has been altered by disease of the lung or pleura. The mediastinum may be pushed away from the affected side, contralateral deviation, by a pleural effusion or pneumothorax. Fibrosis or collapse of the lung will pull the mediastinum towards the affected site. Ipsilateral deviation, chest expansion, as well as by simple inspection, possible asymmetrical expansion of the chest may be explored further by palpation. Face the patient and place the finger of both hands on either side of the lower rib cage so that the tips of the thumb meet in the midline in front of the chest but are not touching the skin. A deep breath by the patient will increase the distance between the thumb and indicate the degree of expansion. If one thumb remains closer to the midline, this suggests diminished expansion on that side. Essentially, the hands are being used like a pair of calipers to measure expansion in the lateral base of the lung where maximum expansion occurs. Feeling percussion on the chest. Effective percussion in a neck is a neck that requires consistent practice. Do so upon yourself or on willing colleagues, as percussion can be uncomfortable for patients if performed repeatedly and, and inexpertly. The middle finger of the left hand is placed on the part to be percussed and pressed firmly against it with slight hyperextension of the distal interphalangeal joint. The back of this joint is then struck with the tip of the middle finger of the right hand. Vice versa, if you are left-handed, the movement should be at your wrist rather than at your elbow. The percussing finger is bent so that its terminal phalanx is at right angles and it strikes the other finger perpendicularly. As soon as the blow has been given, the striking finger is raised. The action is tapping movement. The normal degree of resonance varies between individual and in different part of the chest, in the same individual being most resonant below the clavicle anteriorly and the scapula posteriorly, where the muscles are relatively thin and least resonant over the capsule. On the right side, there is loss of resonance inferiorly as the lever is encountered. On the left side, the lower border overlaps the stomach, so there is a transition from lung resonance to tympanic stomach resonance. Always systematically compare the percussion note on the two sides of the chest, moving backward and forward from one side to the other, not all way down one side and then down the other. Percuss over the clavicle. Traditionally, this is done without an intervening finger on the chest, but there is no reason for this and it is more comfortable for the patient if the finger of the left hand is used is the usual way. Percuss 3 or 4 areas on the anterior chest wall comparing left with right. Percuss the axilla, then 3 or 4 areas on the back of the chest. Reduction of resonance, that is the percussion note is said to be dull, occurs in two important circumstances: when the underlying lung is more solid than usually because of consolidation or collapse, when the pleural cavity contains fluid, that is pleural effusion, is present. Less commonly, a dull percussion note may be due to thickened pleura. The percussion note is a most dull when there is underlying fluid, as in a pleural effusion. Pleural effusion causes the sensation of the percussed finger to be similar to the felt when a solid wall is percussed. This is often called stony dullness by comparing side with side. It is usually easy to detect a unilateral pleural effusion. Pleural effusion usually leads to decreased chest wall movement. Effusion may occur bilaterally in some patients, and this may be more difficult to detect clinically. An increase in resonance or hyperresonance is more difficult to detect than dullness, and there is no absolute level of normal percussion against which extra resonance can be judged. It may be noticeable when the pleural cavity contains air, as in pneumothorax. Sometimes, however, this situation one is tempted to think that the slightly duller side is the abnormal side. Further examination and chest X-ray will reveal the true situation. Thank you. This session is powered by 2.0 digital version Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. I hope you all are satisfied with this session. If you feel any kind of problem with this session, please mention it in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you.